guy in India's one of India's leading accounting software companies, and we were talking about how hosted applications for accounting software can be brought in. And one of the things that we've been discussing recently is that he said, look, our software is not that expensive, so we will buy it. And why would they want to go on to a hosted model in case of doing that? So we conducted a very short study, and we came up with the fact that a lot of the times the queries that they were getting was that data got corrupted, somebody else deleted something, some guy missed out something, whatever, a virus came in, etc. We hadn't taken a backup. We used to take a backup, और 3 महीने से नहीं लिया है, etc., etc. And one of the major things that we're positioning along with them on that accounting application is actually the backup services along with that, which are completely seamless, doesn't require the business owner to have any IT expertise to do, and is done at the back end literally by the setting of a couple of rules in terms of the timing that you want the backups to be taken. Virtualization, I think this is probably really at an SME level something that that you look at perhaps growing on to, but if you move towards cluster-based approaches, then I think it's going to be completely critical because each one of the businesses under those clusters will work in a virtualized environment. If you try and set up infrastructure which is dedicated in nature to small businesses, you'll actually lose most of the whole rewards of going in a cooperative manner. Remote use resources, this is again related to a lot of the ongoing support that you need for business applications, where you can set up dedicated resources in clusters, and they are essentially supporting each one of the businesses in clusters, can be employed or can even be outsourced by the associations themselves. Here's something that I think I've again already touched upon. The whole concept of the cluster, it is essentially a crowd of people who are involved in extremely similar businesses, which likely means is that they're going to have extremely similar suppliers and extremely similar customers. It also likely means that they are going to be suppliers or customers of each other. Because they would basically be adding value at each level of manufacturing, or I'm taking a manufacturing example. Now, here's something that I don't think it has been done in pockets in Taiwan and other countries in the minimal research that I did that I could read off, and I think the Malaysian government in 2009 in the third plan has added a significant strategy towards this. But what does this mean? It basically means that if you're buying 1 ton of an X commodity in order to produce a certain good, you are buying 1 ton from a much smaller distributor, whilst there are 100 businesses in that place who are buying 100 tons of that particular product. Now, you compete with each other on whatever scenario that it is, but let's assume you can sell that product at the same price in the market. What that means is that any efficiency that you're going to gain out of sourcing as a crowd is going to add directly to your bottom line. Now, I mean, again, I'll move towards the conceptual level. Obviously, it's easier said than done, and there needs to be systems in place. And part of the way of doing it is that if you have certain basic industry-wide applications that are being run across scores of businesses or hundreds of businesses, then you can gather certain data from them in terms of their supply chain. What are the kind of materials they require in the, let's say, next month or whatever it is, and what are the timelines for those materials to be brought in. Now, if that is all made in an automated fashion, and you're utilizing that advantage, then you can actually go and source as a crowd. You can sell as a crowd as well. It's crowd selling or crowd sourcing, and I mean, maybe you're not allowed to say it according to the anti-competitive monopolies or commission or whatever that it is, but you can cartelize yourself. If you feel that you have certain products that are not sourceable elsewhere in the world, and they're essential products that are required by industry, you can move towards cartelizing yourself and actually increase your prices as well. The whole idea is the back-end processes and systems that actually manage a lot of this will work much better if they're working in unison for a large number of businesses, rather than having disparate decision-making on buying and selling by single business owners who obviously have a smaller quantity. And then at the end of the day, it's infinite, inexpensive, skilled resources is really what the key is. Okay. VoIP, I think essentially nothing but transportation of voice calls using another technology as opposed to your mobile or your landline. It's essentially the same call. Is it rocket science in any way? No, it's not. But it does get you significant savings, especially for exporters. Not a lot of people still have an inhibition that it's not good quality, therefore they don't use it. But it's a function of the kind of connectivity that you have. And whilst there were some statements made earlier today related to bandwidth, whilst I agree that 256 kbps in a worldwide scenario is not broadband, my submission is that currently for Indian small and medium enterprises, even a 256 is far more than enough for the applications they want to do. If they start consuming more and more applications, they'll need more bandwidth, but currently they do not. Again, some futuristic stuff in terms of mobility-based applications, always-on communications and customer service. I'll give an example. We're working with a company which actually integrates images back into CRM services. So here's something for people who are doing retail or people who are setting up retail points of presence or people who are doing outdoor media where they can actually take photographs and integrate it back into the CRM literally at the click of a button. So that's a mobility-based app as an example. This presentation will go on the web, so I'll skip some of this stuff. And I think the industry-based smart applications, it's really up to industry clusters to come together and develop the applications that they need. The cost of developing applications or customizing applications is extremely expensive. If you come and do it together, you'll get a fraction of the cost than trying to do it alone. And in conclusion, rather than a threat, it provides a rich opportunity for SMEs prepared to engage, increase revenues, decrease costs, greater efficiency, much better customer engagement, access to larger markets. So honestly, I think industry associations and clusters, you should get together, all the businesses within, and get together and take the plunge. Thank you.